I don't know about Malaysia. I think U.S. That'll be. I had a conversation, and that's what I think. I think it'll be
Yeah.
in the U.S.
Uh,
but
It'd probably be better. They're still looking for planes over in Malaysia, so
yeah.
having the planes to get over
Wow.
here.
Wow. That. Oh my God! You did not just say that.
Welcome to the RX Power Hour, your home for news, information, and entertainment from the world of strength and power sports. And now your host, the man of the hour, the man with the power, Mike Johnston.
Excuse me. I am the mother of one of the competitors competing here.
Okay.
What you're doing is an insult to every honest child that's worked so hard to be here, including my son.
I've worked very, very hard to get here too, madam, and I'm well within the rules.
You're an asshole. That's all.
That's a child.
Yes. And I'm sure he's heard even worse from you.
I don't speak like that in front of him.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, that's right. So why don't you take your potty mouth, go locate your preteen cocksucker son, and stuff him back up that old blown-out sweat sock of a vagina and scoot off to whatever shit-kicking town you came from. Can you do that for me? Like an elephant's trunk, I'll bet. Gray.
Wow.
And distended. Good night.
Good day.
Thank you. Mothers.
Bam! Goddamn! Holy macro! Pulling suckers' cards out the satchel. You can sleep tonight, it's okay. B-boys in the cut and we're here to stay. Vibrations, sensation. Shut up when I'm on it's an incantation. Revelation, elation. A little patience with the stimulation. See my flow like I'm on the store. Around to and not just for breakfast anymore. Always on vacation, like Rock and Rusty. Don't want me to be a fest. Trust me. Always in the cut, and we here to stay. Up the door to the group, to my science.
Welcome, friends, neighbors, family, foes, anybody that's out there listening. Whether you like us or don't like us, we don't really give a damn. Learn to live with it, because it's the best thing going today. In the words of Ric Flair, I am Mike Johnston, and I am joined by my good friend and fellow strengthmonger, B.Chavez. Chavez, being like a fellow strengthmonger, that's better than being like my news lady.
You know, it really is, and I have to say I'm doubly impressed because until you said it aloud, I didn't actually know I had any friends.
There you go. There you go. Right?
So it's a score all the way around. I've moved from news girl to strengthmonger, and I've got a goddamn friend.
There it is. Everybody needs a friend, and it can't just be a pet rock. But we are here again for another edition of excellence right here, the RX Power Hour. Thank you all very, very much for listening. And judging by the numbers, you have been listening. The tens and tens of listeners that I used to get with Hildebrand went to the hundreds and hundreds. And now in 2015,
wow.
Chavez, since you joined the show, we're up to tipping the scales at thousands and thousands. People.
Wow. It's RX Power Hour 1K.
That's right, baby. There was a post. There was a post like at American Strongman Radio, not to slam Kale because I like Kale, but definitely slam Hildebrand because he's a tool. But they were saying, we had 10,000 people listen to the show. There is not 10,000 motherfuckers out there that give a shit about anything that any of us are saying. I'm sorry. They just
how many card-carrying strongmen do you think there are in the world today?
Seriously.
If all the organizations tallied up their members, what do you think we got? You think there's 5,000 of us?
Maybe 5,000. That actually,
yeah.
I mean, over the years, I think that there's been more than that have come and gone. But nobody's got nobody's got 2 hours to listening to the ramblings of some fucking tool bags, especially if they're boring. I mean, at least if you listen to us, you might get a good laugh or say that guy's an asshole, that guy's an idiot. Or in your case, I had a listener call in and said, "Oh my God, B.Chavez is a genius," and I was like, "Well, yeah." Yeah, you should.
You didn't correct him. That's right,
no,
sir.
No,
person,
really,
whoever you were, it's evil genius.
That's right, evil genius. Evil genius.
Please.
I said, yeah, that Chavez, he's got some gray matter he's working with. But anyway, so we're here in the news. There's so much going on. This week's special guest, just finished a conversation with him. Jerry Pritchett competing here in the next couple days. I'd say he's competing tomorrow or he's competing in 2 days, but hell, I never know when this show is going to be aired. Johnny Styles does the best he can. But anyway, this Saturday, Jerry Pritchett going up against Dimitar Savatinov in that 3-event runoff.
How fun will that be?
To the Arnold. And honestly, he's very pragmatic about it. He's like, hey, I've had to do Ode show, 2 years in a row. What's another year? He doesn't care. I mean, he agrees that I think that he should have been on the stage and somebody else should be playing in, but that's a matter for another discussion. But yeah, Jerry Pritchett on the show. Great guest, great guy to talk to. He's got a lot going on. Probably the busiest man in strongman right now. But in strength news, shifting away from strongman, some ridiculous feats of strength.
Raw powerlifting is where it is fucking at, boys and girls.
Dude,
good God, I'd say suit up, but that's the wrong word.
Yeah, really. You know what? We're not even gonna. The RX Power Hour question of the week this week is officially canceled. we're going to talk about it next week. I'm just going to keep the question the same because I want to amend it because strongmen have stayed away from it. But strongmen, you people are fucking gear whores. Every swinging dick out there that is a strongman is a gear whore. You guys are dressed in blue from top to bottom. And I love Carl Gillingham. I love Jackal's Gym. I had the warm-up pants. I had the knee sleeves. But there's some guys that dress in blue from head to toe. And now they even use the the Anderson powerlifting, the SBD knee sleeves and stuff. Strongmen, you people are gear whores. So answer the question.
Bionic strength athletes.
That's right, bionic strength athletes. Answer the question when you put your strongman gear on. But raw powerlifting, and we'll get to Lillibridge because, fucking wow.
Yep.
But
which one? Pick them. Yeah.
Well, but who was it that it was? God, now I'm gonna mess this up. It was Eric, right? That did the 9 whatever raw, no knee wrap squat, and what was the number 9?
38?
Yeah, something. It was funny. I think I wrote it down. I wrote it down on one of the giant pieces of paper that I have spread all over my desk. But
it began with a 9. That's really all you need to know.
Yeah, and that was no wraps, just a belt, and as he had the SBD knee sleeves on, incidentally.
Yeah.
And that was ridiculous. But can I just say that if you are a female. If you are a young lady in strength sports, if you are a young lady aspiring to be a great powerlifter, aspiring to be a great strong woman, can I just say that the standard is set? That the bearer of women's strength, the forerunner, the legend that is still a legend, it starts and it stops with Jill Mills.
Absolutely. Are you kidding?
I mean,
and never mind just women and young women. And I stand in awe of Jill Mills. Are you kidding me?
She's ridiculous. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, just power strength. Just the numbers that she put up in the raw division. She's in her 40s. She's a couple years younger than I am. But, I mean, absolutely.
I believe she's just about my age. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. What Jill Mills is still doing. I mean,
I'll tell you what,
Go
if
ahead.
anybody takes the moment to shoot it, drop in YouTube or somewhere and take a look, it's a lot of numbers. You see numbers posted, and the lifts that coincide with them, they're legitimate. There are a lot of things, but they're not just crisp and emphatic and fucking perfection. When you see a Jill Mills lift, you walk away knowing exactly what you saw.
Exactly.
There's no question. There's no, oh, was it? No. She unracks, rock solid, straight down, straight up, no wasted motion, violent speed. It's an absolute sight.
165 pounds, all-time raw record of 1,263. And the one lift that struck me, obviously I have a penchant for deadlift. I think everybody knows that. If you are, let me tell you this, and I'm going to say this to any female, any male, any female right now that's listening. If your fucking strongman coach, if your online guru, if your trainer is telling you that you need to learn the hitch to be successful in deadlift, you need to walk the fuck away right now. All you need to do is pull up, and I have it posted. It's actually, it's funny when you have a business Facebook page, sometimes you can't post things. But if you go to Mike Johnston on Power Hour, RX Power Hour host, there is a video of Jill Mills deadlift. It is a fucking clinic. That is the standard. She gets in a little bit of trouble. The bar slows down. She stays the course, fires the glutes, and drives through. That is the most textbook, picture-perfect deadlift, man, woman, child, you will ever see. If your trainer tells you that you need to hitch, if you're being coached on how to hitch, you need to walk the fuck away from that coach.
Hey, buddy, that's CrossFit. CrossFit takes the time to teach you the right way to wrongly chin up. So why shouldn't there be strongmen teaching the right way to wrongly deadlift?
Absolutely horrible. And I'll tell you why there shouldn't be. Because you will not get stronger. You'll learn how to do a bullshit movement. You will not have the glute strength. If you're a young lady and you're training strongman, you get that fucking video. It was posted originally by Ashley House Smith. And it is Jill Mills. That's one of Jill Mills's trainees, I guess. It was posted by Ashley. It is Jill Mills pulling her last big pull to set that world record total, and it's fucking phenomenal. It's
magnificent.
And it is absolutely. I mean, you said it. You look at what Jill's doing. You know what she's doing. You know what you're seeing when you see her lift. That was one of the best deadlifts I've ever seen. It's fucking ridiculous with a belt, and that's it.
That's it. And something that you had mentioned that the bar slowed down, and then she got proper glute fire and came into position, which is exactly what's supposed to happen. And I would like to amend that with, and not looking at the fucking sky. All of you imbeciles, look up. There's nothing up there that's going to fucking help you. That's retarded. But separate subject, a little pet peeve of my own. My deadlift's not fantastic, but I fought for every stinking inch of it, and I've never found it looking at the sky. Look up. Yeah, you fucking Chuck Taylor numbnuts.
She's a badass. I mean, she really is.
Absolutely. One of the best lifters on planet Earth today.
Yeah, absolutely. Just so proud of her. And to call her a friend, and obviously Jill putting on Jill Mills Amazon's Live. I mean, there's a lot of good promotions out there. Strongman promotions. Amanda Rose really doing some great things for women strongman. But Jill Mills, I mean, that's it. That is strong woman in a nutshell. I mean,
like you said, it's the pinnacle. That's it.
Yeah, you can't aspire. If you can aspire to be a third as good as Jill Mills, it's fucking that's the pinnacle right there. So
somewhere there's the best of everything, and that's it in women's strongman.
Yeah, and I tell you what, and she's walking around, and we get a chance to talk to her and learn from her. Just by watching that video. If you're a young lady, you're a deadlifter, you check out that fucking video. Yeah, it's some. That's some ridiculous stuff. Into this weekend again, we have Jerry Pritchett on the show later, but Ode Haugen and his All-American Strongman. Ode has joined forces with ASC and NAS, and he's giving away pro cards this weekend and a bunch of other nonsense. Pros competing, amateurs competing. Did you notice, Chavez, that the weights are considerably lighter in this Ode show than they have been in past. And Ode,
it's a little uncharacteristic. You're right.
Because Ode is classically known for heavy, like brutal events. But everything's lightened up a good bit.
Well, it may, and I don't say this in a politics fashion. I simply say this in what I think is, kind of a factual fashion, is that I think selling his soul to ASC has made him concede to more of their model of what you do or how you do.
Right.
And that's, I don't say that with any shame. If he feels that it's necessary to, or not even necessary, but advantageous or efficacious in some way to align himself with any organization he chooses, that's fine. And if that comes with constraints, that's also fine. But I do think it kind of steals the singularity and individuality that Aud, had as the old-time tough guy strongman. Maybe is just going to be another show now, and that's not as interesting to me.
Yeah, he's just another ASC jabroni now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate if that's the case. I hope, Mr. Haugen, if you're listening, I hope that's not the case because, regardless of what side of the fence and what side of what you stood on, you were the old-time tough guy, strongman guy, and I always enjoyed seeing you perform and seeing your events. So sure. I hope it's not gone.
So back to our discussion of powerlifting. You've got something that's stuck in your craw, shall we say?
I do. One of the things my little job titling entails for this is to sniff around and find some new news items, and because we are different people and pursue different avenues, I find things you don't, and there's one that bothers me. I found the original posting on Powerlifting Watch. I always want to give credit where credit is due, and it's an IPF drug failure suspension list. And I won't go into details what country or even what people are on it. I'll summarize in the least offensive to the individuals in question, mainly because I just don't believe in drug tests, and I think they're fucking stupid and inappropriate and a number of things. But I'm a science geek and I'm a chemistry freak, and so I do pay attention when I see them. And anyway, we've got 5 names, 5 failures. 4 of the compounds listed for failure are amphetamines. They're stimulants, not actually amphetamines, but they're stimulants, and therefore not that interesting. Stimulants have been a problem in sports since before there were sports.
Sure.
I think the actual first official death in sports was related to amphetamine. So not a real big deal. And they also, again, in the world of in drug doping and drug testing, they're very relatively easily detected. So again, not news. The news is all the things people are doing to get them through the test. These 4 unfortunate sods failed, but the one on here that is interesting, that really is interesting, is we have a failure for oscarin gluconoride. Big complicated name, probably a lot of blank looks at the radio right now, kind of giving me that what the fuck. That is.
Yeah, hold on, kids. Hang on, kids. Let's say that one more time.
Well, there's some debate on how you pronounce the beginning. I actually went to one of the original research papers, which had it phonetically, and they pronounced it Ostarine, Ostarine.
Okay.
And the second half of that is gluconoride, and that is one of the so commonly mentioned in bodybuilding and powerlifting magazines and research chemical websites. That is one of the SARMs, selective androgen receptor modulators. What these drugs are, it's an entire class of drugs that operate the androgen receptor, the same receptor site that anabolic steroids and testosterone and other androgens activate. But they are absolutely positively not anabolic steroids. They have a different structure. They lack the steran structure, where the Latin root for steroid comes from. It's this general pattern, kind of a Big Dipper looking thing when you draw it out. Anyway, they're drugs that are not anabolic steroids but activate that receptor. Very interesting science, very cool stuff. What I find interesting is, one, pervasively across the internet, everyone says no one's making the real thing. There's none out there. Well, now we have a failure for one. So obviously, somebody's taking this shit. So that's important, folks.
So it stimulates the receptor. It stimulates it just like a steroid would, even though it's not.
You say just like it activates the same receptor and stimulates muscle growth.
Okay.
To say just like is not fair because it doesn't bring a lot of the androgenic baggage that actual steroid molecule hormones do. So you theoretically, and these things are very new, and not everyone, no one knows a whole lot, but you wouldn't get the water retention, the carbohydrate retention, the conversion to estrogen, all those things. Theoretically, all you get is reception at the target tissue, a transmission of cyclic AMP, and then a message to the nucleus of the muscle cell, generate more protein, something called protein expression, and then follows transcription, translation, ribosomal packaging, all kinds of fancy stuff.
So more muscle development.
Correct. It's basically the simplified message of make more muscle protein, and nothing else.
When we had Dr. Nick on the show, Nick T, he was talking about, everybody's saying, oh, my receptor sites are full, and he was saying that's bullshit. He says that receptor sites, sometimes cortisol receptor sites will accept,
Absolutely.
It's
something Nick's very fluent on, and I don't know if there's even an official name, but he refers to it as receptor promiscuity.
That's what he said. He did say that on the show. Yeah. I like promiscuity, so I think that's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it that officially.
But just to come back to this, because I want to cover this, and I don't want to take up the whole show.
No, but
go ahead. You had a question.
Well, I was going to say, would that it goes to the anabolic steroid receptor sites? Would it also bond in with the promiscuity to the cortisol or the other receptor site?
Well, that is one of the thousands of things I want to see clinical data on, because these things are very, very new. They're not even being made in the actual medical community. There's nowhere that they're prescribable or actually receivable by patients. They're still in I don't want to say the early stages, but the late stages of pre-production. So really, I don't think anyone knows a lot of that. I don't know the impacts on on peripheral tissues, liver, renal system. I don't know any of that, so I really couldn't speak on the receptor activity. I know what they're supposed to do, and I've seen the chemical structure of how they're shaped, and they are very interesting. And regardless of whether or not this generation is the right answer or not, these are the drugs of the future. These are going to be the drugs you can give to little kids, old women, what have you, to AIDS patients, people with immune dysfunction, and these drugs are going to be able to allow them to build and retain muscle tissue without a lot of the steroid consequences. So these are the future of anabolic drugs. There's no question. But there's the problem I have, mainly other than the fact that somebody out there is making these things and people are taking them, and I didn't know about it.
And you don't have any.
Right. And then secondly, we've got this IPF drug failure for this compound. So I immediately went to the IPF website and looked at their drug testing protocol. And their information's a little sketchy. It's not as succinct as it ought to be, and it's not as succinct as their charter says it should be, but that's not really something I'm going to take them to task on. But the moral of the story is I couldn't find any sensible protocol on how they detected this. So I looked through a couple of different medical databases. I found nothing. I looked through a couple chemistry databases, found nothing. In a veterinary journal, I found a reference to steroid being applied to beef cattle. And in the page, actual piece I copied, and in the abstract from the National... I apologize. I cut it off. I don't even know where I got it from. It was republished in PubMed, which is where I found this piece. But anyway, moral of the story is, in this study, they identified the the feedlot that was in fact in the presence of the Austera, and they found by something they're referring to as the S9 bovine liver enzyme metabolite. And it was done by gas chromatography or whatever. So anyway, I did a little research on that, and I found that basically how this enzyme was left in the metabolism of the drug, and I followed that. The catch is humans don't make that enzyme. Specifically, it's a bovine enzyme. And not only that, but humans don't have an analog to that enzyme. So I am completely stumped how the IPF detected this and how they're going to be able to stand by that detection. I mean, so essentially, if it were fought in court.
Essentially what you're saying is they could have found it in somebody's bag. They have no way to detect it, so they really don't know.
Well, I'm not going to say they don't have a way to detect it, but I'm going to say they didn't give me any indication how the hell they did it.
Right. I got you.
And they appear to be wildly ahead of the curve because I did a lot of research, and some of the best experts on the planet apparently don't know how to detect this shit.
Damn.
So I'm very interested what they have to say on the subject.
That's very interesting stuff, and I'm sure that the bodybuilding world and the powerlifting world, obviously, they're already way out in front of the fucking scientific community or the medical community. As usual, they're out in front.
How about it?
How about it?
And that's just one of the things I love about this sport, because it's not just about hard work. It's not just about having good genetics. It's about having a little bit of reckless abandonment, a lot of nerve, and a goddamn lot of smarts. If you want to be good, you got to be paying attention, boys and girls, or you got to know somebody that's paying attention, and you got to buy them some sparkly, shiny shit, because this is high-quality stuff, folks. This is important.
So, all of you listening to the RX Power Hour right now, right at this very minute, email your sparkly shit right here to RXPowerHour@gmail.com, because I guarantee that you are not hearing this shit anywhere else. That is one thing I will promise you. But we are going to go. We're running a little bit long as always because, as you know, we are legendary. Our verbosity as strength mongers is legendary. And we're going to go. And when I come back, I will be bringing you my conversation with the busiest man in strongman, Jerry Pritchett. Wait. Yeah, good
Can't
stuff.
Wait to hear it.
And on the other side of that, we're going to answer more of your questions. An injury question by our friend Matthew Stratton. And a little question on the DL. How much juice should a girl drink? All that and more when we come back. It's the RX Power Hour. Exclusively. Well, hell, it's on iTunes. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. But it's the RX Power Hour.
It's not exclusive at all, but damn, it's cool.
We're certainly not exclusive, but we will be right back.
Headbanger.
Y'all can't stop me now. Listen to me now. I'm lasting 20 rounds. And if you want me, then come on get me now. Is you with me now? Then biggie bounce. I know you dig the way
Iron Mag Labs is the leading supplement company offering the most hardcore pro anabolic supplements. Visit ironmaglabs.com and check out our top selling products. Asta RX, Halo Extreme, Sinustain RX, E-Control RX, Decadrol Max, Ultramale RX. Iron Mag Labs makes supplements that actually work. No hype, no BS, just real results. There's a reason you keep hearing about Iron Mag Labs. Come see what you're missing. Visit Iron Mag Labs at ironmaglabs.com for the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements. Quest Bars from Quest Nutrition is Dave Palumbo's favorite protein bar. It's the only bar that's not simply a candy bar in disguise. There's no sugar or sugar alcohols, no soy, and zero trans fat. Quest Bars contain only the highest grade protein from whey and milk protein isolates. Quest Bars are also the lowest carb bar available, only 4 to 5 grams, and they all come from nuts. Quest Bars are also gluten-free. Quest Bars were specifically made for people who are serious about their physiques and who want the highest quality ingredients. Best of all, they taste great. Learn more about Quest Bars by visiting questproteinbar.com and try them out for yourself. Check out questproteinbar.com now.
B.Chavez from Evil Genius Sports Performance, and you've made at least one good choice today because you're listening to Mike Johnston and the RX Power Hour.
Well, you made me weep, and you made me moan. Well, you caused me to leave, child, my happy home. But someday, baby, you ain't worry my life anymore.
And welcome back to the RX Power Hour, another exciting edition, and we are here with, I would say probably at this point, the busiest man in strongman. This guy is all over the place, training for a huge first ever play-in type event. We'll talk more about that. Just started a new training facility. He's online with selling some of the Anderson strongman and powerlifting gear. But welcome to the show, Jerry Pritchett.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, definitely. First of all, I guess, you're training right now. I've been watching your videos. I want to talk more about your deadlifting, which is just ridiculous. But thinking about this play-in thing where it's you and Dimitar Savatinov going for that 10th spot at the Arnold. I mean, on one side of it, you've already been to the Arnold. You finished in the top 10 at World's Strongest Man in 2014. Your accolades should be there to get you to the Arnold. Arguably, Dimitar Savatinov, he won America's Strongest Man. That usually matters. But I guess on the flip side of it, at least you don't have to do the full contest at Odes this year.
Yeah, it's just a free event thing that Terry Todd put together with Ode. I think it might have been the regular show. But I think it was just Terry was wanting to see certain events done, that kind of lined up, well with the Arnold.
Sure.
That's the heaviest one out there.
Oh yeah, definitely is.
That's how this kind of came about.
Yeah. So, okay. So there's 3 events. It's you and Dimitar Savatinov, and I guess it's just your name being in the conversation, because you look at some of the guys that aren't going to the Arnold, but your name being in the conversation, even though you're playing in to get that 10th spot, that's got to make you feel pretty good. I mean, even though you've earned your way there the past 2 years, or 14, I guess, and 13 winning Ode show. But the 3 events, what are the 3 events?
The first one's changed a little bit. Now it's a 1,000-pound frame carry with straps for, I believe, 50 feet.
Okay.
And then a 420 log press, screen press for reps, and then a max deadlift.
All right, so we've seen all of that on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Already. So what? Talk to me about the overhead press. I know in the past, that wasn't your best event, but you've really brought that around. What have you been doing to bring that up?
Yeah. Overhead was always my Achilles. It's just taking it and pushing it to try to make it one of my better events. Just had to, completely redo the way I do shoulders and overhead and everything. I had to kind of quit thinking like a power lifter, and I kind of had to play some catch up on, kind of getting the shoulder strength up.
Sure.
But it's and then getting the technique down. It's finally starting to fall in where it's now I really feel like I'm making really good gains on it,
Oh yeah, I think I saw a 415 for 3, or you were right around there on the video. Now, you obviously have training partners, and not necessarily somebody that coaches you, but how is that? Even though you're the guy, it's your facility, you've been to the big dance, to the biggest contest in the world. but your training partners, are they there pushing you? Do they critique? Are they helping you? I mean, some training partners are just like, oh, rah, rah, it's really good. But in this instance, I mean, you need people to watch what you're doing and improve and help you improve. Are your training partners doing that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have some good training partners. Eric Patterson, John Lane, those guys are always there pushing me. Eric's, he can watch me. He can be on my ass. He can see if I'm kind of having an off day. He's on my ass, getting me back, lined up. And watching as I'm going, if I did something different than I've done, if I'm not following in the technique. One of the big ones on technique on overhead, that's really helped me is he's not local, so we got to kind of do it through, videos and message and over the phone.
Sure.
Ricky LaRocca has helped me a ton.
Oh yeah.
On really dialing in overhead and, watching my form and watching my line and getting the line to improve. That's been a big one.
Absolutely. And anybody that doesn't know, John Anderson was on the show with me last week. John Anderson, Ricky LaRocca is a longtime training partner of John Anderson and actually one of John's trainers at his training facility out west. All right, so you got some guys helping you getting dialed in on the overhead. You've always been a big stone loader, a big deadlifter. Your posterior chain has always been crazy. But 905, I mean, you're now getting into the realm of the elite of all time. I mean, talk about that. What's been going on with your deadlift other than it just keeps going up and up and up?
Yeah, it's just been a kind of an evolution of, for all the years of powerlifting, I've always had, a good deadlift. And then really the last several years, just on my own, really just getting even smarter on how I train deadlift and changing my technique a little bit and my form. And it's pushed it up to now where, honestly, I post, a lot of, 875s and 905s and that's really kind of gearing around my, probably 90%.
Wow. Nice. Okay. That's damn. All right. I hear that. With that powerlifting background, when, a lot of guys are, breaking apart, from their traditional powerlifting where, West Side method maybe is speed day, speed day, max effort day. And then a lot of guys are going to that more of a cube thing where they're deadlifting one day, bench pressing one day, squatting one day. Do you do big lifts throughout the week? Do you space them out more, or do you kind of stack them together in your training? Like, where does your deadlift fall in that?
Yeah, I have, my deadlift days on Monday, and then squats on Wednesday. My primary, shoulders, bench, accessory work is Tuesdays. Saturdays is our big event training day where we hit all the strongman stuff.
So basically 4 days. You're talking 4 days a week then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
For 4 days of everything heavy. I might throw an extra day of some, light supplementary stuff here and there. But of my main, the main vein that makes everything jive, that's it, the 4 days.
Right. I hear you. And so you, okay, getting close to a competition, and the Arnold's a little bit of a different competition. It's really static. You're really in place. This event, this 3-event thing you're getting ready for, it's very specific. But if you're getting ready for a World's Strongest Man type of an event or a Giants Live type of event, how long are you taking squats into that contest prep? Are you doing some type of squatting all the way right up and through the event? Do you back squat off a little bit?
Yeah, I'll start, tapering, but I'm pretty old school in my training. I still hit all the basic lifts. Only thing I might change up is if I'm going into an event and we don't necessarily have a squat, maybe it's a little more of endurance. I just change the way I do squat. Man, I'm hitting, higher end reps and then instead of, worrying about how heavy I go.
Sure.
I tweak it that way. I still hit my core lifts though. And then as I get close to it and start kind of pulling back on the throttle and ease it up on them.
Yeah.
It starts healing.
And that makes perfect sense to me. I think I listen to a lot of kids talk about their training programs, and a lot of them sort of tend to skate out of those core lifts, those things that got them as strong as they are, for some reason 6 weeks ahead of the event. And it doesn't really make sense to me, but yeah, I would agree with you. And then certainly having that powerlifting background.
Yeah, a lot of it, you do the powerlifting, a lot of it comes from that, because you watch a lot of the new age, strongmen, a lot of them don't hit, some of those core lifts all the time. And then one of the biggest things they lack is they don't hit all the accessory work that kind of prevents some of those stupid injuries you get. All they do is hit strongman stuff.
Yeah.
The whole idea is to do all the basic gym movements, power lifts, to have some good base strength base to make the strongman better.
Absolutely. I definitely couldn't agree more with that. So, your background's in powerlifting, and you've obviously you've jumped through every hoop that anybody's ever asked you to get to that upper level in the strongman world. How are you feeling about this coming weekend? I mean, go ahead. What's your prediction? Is you're going to win, but I mean, are you feeling good about it?
Yeah, I feel good. Dimitar's a great strongman, very strong. But buddy of mine, I talk to Dimitar all the time. When he was in town for ASM, and we were all out to eat, and we tried to help him as much as we could since he was here.
Sure.
Yeah, he's a great guy, great strongman. I like these events. I think these events, are going to be good events for me. I think in the past, anybody looking outside would probably fear, I'm for sure a loss on log. I think we maybe changed that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, there we go.
Well, I like it. I think it's going to be a good show. It's going to be fun, and want to get through it and then start focusing on Arnold.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting. Obviously the deadlift. Dimitar's a great deadlifter, but I think you're a lock off the floor. You're one of the elite in any conversation as far as the deadlift. The frame carry, you won that, I believe, at the Arnold last year, correct? Yeah. So, and Dimitar is a great overhead presser. He's certainly right there with the best. He holds a co-owner of the American record. But is it a clean and press or a
clean and press prep?
And that's where the conversation changes, because Dimitar is an amazing overhead presser, but not the best cleaner in the world. But it's interesting. I mean, because I look at the posts and stuff and back and forth, and you guys are always liking each other's stuff on Facebook, and it doesn't seem animus at all. It's a good competition. Everybody's willing to do it and just get in there and compete against the best of the best. And you never know who's going to withdraw from the Arnold. I mean, that's how Dimitar got there last year. Somebody withdrew. Yeah. Benedict Magnuson has been invited to the Arnold. This will be his third year in a row, and he's withdrawn the previous 2 years. I mean, he's looking really good this year. But anyway, different conversation. But someone usually always drops going train for the Arnold.
That's what from Terry. He said there's a good chance that both of you still end up going. Because there's someone will go out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so show up, do what you got to do. But do you think that, like right now, Colin's doing some stuff, building up some hype with World's Strongest Man? You have, it's a Vince McMahon thing. You got the WWE SmackDown going on. Do you think that this was in that vein? Let's put two guys pitted against each other. I think it's interesting because you take three events and you say, all right, whoever wants this 10th spot, fight for it. I like that aspect of it. Do I think that, versus me personally, looking at the list, some of the other names that are there, I don't think either you or Dimitar should be the two guys vying for that 10th spot. There are other names on that list to me, that should be on the outside trying to play their way in. You guys have proved yourselves, but I still do like the concept. Do you think it's a hype thing?
I don't know. I don't think for Terry Todd it's a hype thing. Honestly, I believe for Terry, now I agree that Dimitar and I should already be in the show.
Agreed.
We shouldn't have to do this. That's two other guys should have to be doing this. But
absolutely.
Whatever, we're both more than willing to do it to go try to get a spot. But I don't think it's a height thing for Terry. I think Terry's thing, like for picking these events and picking them heavy events, you know, I mean, what shows do you find the 420 log clean press reps? You know, but at the Arnold, he got the Australian Oak. That's what 445.
Sure.
So, and then, you know, this year the frame's going to be 1100.
Yeah.
And you got the Hummer Tire deadlift. So these are all kind of events that kind of line up for that. So to him, I think it's you know, seeing how well guys handle these events, lining up coming into the Arnold versus maybe a show that, you know, I love old shows. I think this one this year, I don't know if you looked at it, the weights, the weights are less than they've been in the past years. You know, when I won it a couple of years ago, we did a 550 front squat. The front squat's 500 this year.
Yeah.
I'm
Definitely
not
lighter.
sure if it's trying to entice more guys or being it's kind of part of the mass ASC thing now. I'm not sure what it is. But when you start doing, I think, some of those other, you know, lighter events and then, you know, natural stones and moss wrestling and different stuff like that, which still makes a great strongman show, but not necessarily the strongest guy there that day could win it.
I agree. Agreed. I mean, other than the fact
You know,
that
a good technical strongman could get through it and win it, but not necessarily be the best static guy to be lined up to go to the Arnold. If that makes sense.
No, that absolutely makes sense. And I've always been sort of, for two different reasons. The number one reason was just proximity to the Arnold. I've always wondered why Ode Show was kind of chosen to be that last minute ditch effort to qualify a guy to the Arnold when it looks absolutely nothing like the Arnold, and winning the Ode Show doesn't mean that you would fare well at the Arnold. Just like winning World's Strongest Man doesn't mean that you would fare well at the Arnold. I mean, we've seen World Strongman champions just not even go to the Arnold because they're just like, that's not my kind of show. And then it being so different, I would have to say that the way that they're doing it this year, to me, has been the most legitimate. And even if you did it from a percentages standpoint, this is really just a training day for you in Dimitar. Obviously, you want to have a damn good training day because you got to beat the other guy. But percentage-wise, you're already doing this stuff. You know, you've done essentially all these lifts. So I think from a beat down on your body, like that year that you did that 550 front squat and the rest of that stuff, Ode had the heavy yoke, you had all that, you know, and then you had to go compete at the Arnold. You would have come in, you should, let's say you win this, you should come into the Arnold, you or Dimitar, or both of you, you should come into the Arnold in better condition than having just done a regular Ode show. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. At where I'm at right now, I'm in a much better spot than I was the last 2 years, you know, as far as being lined up for the Arnold, because I've been able to just train basically Arnold events along you know, with these, because it's deadlift's a deadlift. You know, we still got frame carry, we still got to go heavy on log. And I can keep, you know, we don't have any kind of crazy medleys where I got to have some air, so I can push my body weight up.
Right.
For the last several years, to make sure I'm dialed in, so I can kill Ode Show, you know, I got to make sure I'm dialed in at all those events, keep my weight down a little bit, and then that last month, try to crank it up to dial in for the heaviest show that you'll do.
Right, exactly. And so that's bringing that up as a good question. Where's your body weight sitting right now?
I bounce between about 362 to 365.
Holy cow! Wow, that's awesome. That is up there, and you feel good.
Last year at the Arnold, I was about 345, then about 340 at Worlds, and
nice.
You know, this past year after Worlds, you know, I didn't do a whole lot of that because I mean we had last year I did the Fit Expo, the Arnold, and the Worlds within like 2 months or something. You know, they were all one after another.
Yeah, of course.
It was kind of nice to kind of back off a little bit, let everything heal up. So I didn't hurt my back at the Arnold on that big yoke.
Right.
So let everything heal up and just kind of take some time just to get stronger and try to put on some sides, which is hard to do when you're going from one show to the next.
Yeah,
you know, you're basically just resetting. Okay, what events I got now? You just kind of reset it real quick.
Right.
So
Especially
it was nice just to kind of take the whole summer, the fall, and do that. You know, I ended up doing a powerlifting meet back in the fall. When it broke that Waldo record at 904.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got the all-time top 20 on the super heavyweights on that one. So it allowed me to kind of do some other stuff. I did the Moss Wrestling, the TO. So it was nice to kind of take some time to kind of gear for this year. That this year, the plan is full bore to go steamroll some shows.
There you go.
And along with some powerlifting meets too, because
nice.
I want to push the deadlift record up.
Now let me ask, are you I know you're sponsored by Anderson powerlifting gear. Are you a raw guy? Or you single ply guy? I thought I remembered.
Yeah, I used to go single ply. I want to do a raw meet this year. The plan right now is to do the APC GPA qualifier in June or July in Georgia, because then the GPA Worlds are going to be back in Georgia in October this fall.
Nice.
So that's the plan for that. I was sitting watching those guys last year when I was down in Sydney, and they had some great lifts, and Benny was down there and Nisha and doing the deadlift, and so
so then you would say that, I mean, you could honestly say that when you're picking a show, and obviously you're picking the biggest shows on the planet because you've got the ability to do so. But when you're picking something that's like an extra show, like this powerlifting meet that you're talking about doing, you want to go, you talked about setting some records, but you want to compete. You want to be on stage with the best of the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, some guys run from competition. You're running toward competition.
Yeah. I want to go up there with the best in powerlifting right now.
Nice.
It's been a while since I've done any powerlifting, and where my strength level is right now, I want to go jump back in it and crush some records where I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's purely just out of the love of the sport of powerlifting, because I can go do a strongman show and make a couple bucks and go to powerlifting and get an attaboy and a sore back.
Yeah, get a sore back and lose some money.
Yeah, lose cost me money, but it's just purely out of the love of powerlifting.
Yeah, I totally understand that. So you've had the downtime and doing some powerlifting, a little bit of Moss Wrestling, but you haven't been just sitting around doing nothing. You're opening businesses. You're starting training facilities. You've had the business of making equipment for a couple of years, so you've been doing that.
Yeah.
But now you've gotten involved with Anderson Powerlifting, and so you've got some online sales. You've got a site, and then you've opened up the training facility. Talk about some of that stuff.
Yeah, sponsored by Ken Anderson Powerlifting. Sells everything you need for powerlifting, strongman. He's the only dealer in North America for the SBD knee and elbow sleeves. And then, along with that, I've been doing the trade shows and the expos for him, and then also an in-state dealer for all the equipment.
Oh, very nice.
That kind of went in with back in December. Got a space, opened up first of the year, opened up Pritchett Power Strength Training.
Very cool.
The focus is obviously strength athletics and having the best group, getting the best group around here in Arizona and on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I love seeing what like Mark Bell's done over there with his super training and Jesse Burdick and all those guys in Will and Brace. They got a great deal over there. I want to build that here. I already got a good group of guys. They're great, strong guys. Eric Patterson crushed some NAS records at the ASM show back in Europa here in Phoenix.
Right.
So we already got a bunch of great guys, and we want to build on that. And we already got a bunch of good, strong teenagers that are lined up to powerlifting. And another kid that we're pushing to strongman because he doesn't even realize what he can do yet. Yeah. He's just that dumb, stupid strength. He's never seen a yoke before, and he jumps under 660 yoke and runs with it.
Holy crap.
And he just kind of looks at you like, was I supposed to do that?
Yeah, sure, kid. Now, do you have are some of the other guys helping you? Are you doing all the programming, or do you have some trainers there working with you?
Yeah, I'm doing everything right now. I got a couple guys that may be interested in doing some training out there. They're trying to put together some packages to do some training out there as well. Right now, it's mainly all on me.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
we're building on it, getting it going. It's something that's I know it's not going to happen overnight, but want to build a good brand with it.
Right. And now you guys are also promoting promoting a meet.
Yeah, then we're going to run that USS show of Willie's.
Yep.
In March 21st.
Very cool.
Which seems already has
right around the corner.
Yeah, it's close, and it's got a lot of hype already. A lot of guys bring a lot of guys into the gym to train for it. Guys that maybe haven't done a show in a while, or guys that are interested in getting into it. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really good thing.
Yeah, it's nice when you for so long, obviously going around with ASC doing some of the bigger shows, and in the national championship, you get to see everybody. But when you go back to those smaller local shows and you see some people that are just getting started and just figuring it out, kind of reminds you of what you got into it for to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's this one. I want to see the weight's down a little bit. 'Cause I want to see new people in there. I want to see new blood. Not just
same
six
old
guys that have been doing it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
I want to see some new blood that like some of these kids that got a ton of potential. So if you get them down in a show that's not too intimidating for them, they're going to come in there. They're going to build off of that.
Yeah, definitely. Now, will you guys have a women's class in your event?
Yeah, we got 2 women's classes, light and heavy.
Because that's where there's a huge growth in the sport. It seems like some of the lighter weight classes and some of the ladies classes are just, there's only so many super strong guys. In the world,
Yeah.
But the lighter weight classes, people are really just taking to strongman.
Yeah. And you're getting a lot of, people that come in, CrossFit that are interested in, getting a little stronger and kind of doing some strongman stuff. Because some of the stuff they do a little bit of hybrid of strongman, so they're kind of half introduced to it. So you get a show that's not too intimidating for them. They'll come over and jump over and try to make the switch.
Gotcha.
Like I can tell everybody's got a saying. They don't like powerlifting. They only do strongman, or they only do this. They don't like CrossFit, whatever. Like if you do it right, it's all strength athletics. They all can kind of build off each other.
Oh, sure.
Unless you're elite pro and you're focused in on one, maybe 2. But even then, look how many guys switch between powerlifting and strongman. That build off each other. Oh,
your better strongmen usually have some kind of I believe some kind of a power core. They
looking like you're the greatest of all time, Kazmaier. He was amazing powerlifter.
Yeah, absolutely. And even on the women's side, you look at Jill Mills.
Jill Mills, yeah.
She's still killing it. She
just crushed a ton of big numbers last weekend.
Unbelievable. It's still, so that, and you can do it, I think, into your, mid 40s, later 40s, and just keep at it if you're doing it right and you build that base of muscle. So,
yeah,
for sure. All right. So we talk about the Arnold and kind of getting ready for this pre-game Arnold deal. What's up with WSM this year? It always seems like we don't hear a whole lot about it. You're never really sure. We know a lot of people have qualified. Have you already qualified for that? Or you're done with that because you finished in the top 10, so you got your spot back?
Honestly, there's not a whole lot out about it. Everybody keeps saying, it's going to be Malaysia. Then I hear somebody here a couple weeks ago that, oh no, it's maybe going to be back in the U.S. So they typical IMG worlds, they don't plan anything ahead of time. Now, as far as having a guaranteed spot, as of right now, I don't.
Really?
They always top 10. You're automatically qualified. I guess maybe my own fault for not pursuing it last year, and jumping out and going to do another Giants Live.
Right.
Figured I'm good. But yeah, as of per Colin, I don't have a guaranteed spot right now. Actually, the only ones that have a guaranteed spot is Bryan and Mike So
Really?
that I hear. Yeah.
Wow.
So myself and Dave, that should have guaranteed spots,
Sure.
are still kind of up in the air.
Wow, 9 and 10. Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
weird. And what I mean, I guess they got well, you're kind of focused even if, Britain's strongest man or whatever like that, but or whatever that contest they have with the log overhead and all that stuff, but that's not even I mean, you got the Arnold coming up. So I mean, so you already got a lot on your plate to try to thinking about qualifying for that. Okay.
Yeah, I know Nick's going to that one, that giant slide, that Britain's strongest man.
Right.
Of course, Demchard's going to do the log, so is Oberst.
But which neither of that will qualify them for, well, I mean, we don't know. Speculatively, that wouldn't necessarily qualify them for Worlds. There's no way of knowing, I guess.
Yeah, there's no way of knowing. It's hard to say,
Right. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I don't know about Malaysia. I think U.S. That'll be. I had a conversation and that's what I think. I think it'll be in the U.S. But,
it'd probably be better. They're still looking for planes over in Malaysia, so
wow, that oh my God, you did not just say that. And that plane would go down fast. Imagine if all those big fat guys, 360 plus.
It'd be a big splash.
Holy shit! Yeah. Oh my God, that plane would sink right to the bottom of the ocean. Oh my God. Oh, that's messed up. All right. Holy shit. All right. So Jerry Pritchett. So what else is going on? What else is going on in life? I saw, how's the family? Everybody's good?
Yeah, everybody's good. Kids are good. Wife's good. Wife probably get some sort of medal for putting up with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when I start getting ready for a show,
Yeah. You get a little crazy. You get a little amped up a few weeks right before the show, right?
Oh yeah, and I'm sure I'm a huge pain in the ass, So she deserves a medal for putting up with me all these years. But
there we go, Mrs.
Yeah, that was good. My boy just turned 4 back in December, and my daughter will be 9 here, and right after the Arnold. And,
now,
doing good.
Are you working other than? I mean, obviously the strongman. You got the equipment line. You're doing some in state sales with Ken Anderson and the new training facility. Do you have a day job? Or are you still working beside that?
Yeah, I work for a public utility here in town called Salt River Project. I'm a metal fabricator for them.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my 5 to 1 job, and then I leave there and head to the gym
and take care of that
training there. Yeah.
I got you. So you do so with your equipment liner. Do you fabricate all of the equipment yourself?
Only in my gym, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't been making as much stuff for guys as I was, just because I haven't had time.
Yeah.
Especially with because I build more stuff for the gym and getting it going. I still got stuff to do. It's kind of got put on the back burner since I've been buckling down for the next couple shows.
Nice.
So once so many shows get out of the way, then I got some more stuff to catch up to, kind of finish up the gym and stuff, and then kind of get back to some orders that I have for some equipment,
Absolutely. So, if people want to find out more about your gym, about the Pritchett Power and Strength Training, where do they go? I know you're on Facebook.
Yeah, right now on Facebook, and then of course post a lot of stuff I'm starting to post a lot of stuff on YouTube now. Jerry Pritchett, and then Pritchett Power Strength Training on Facebook. Once things get going down the road, we'll probably do a website.
Very cool.
But right now, there's so much easy advertising, free advertising, social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm actually looking at it right now. Because it's Pritchett Power Strength Training, and that's how they find you on Facebook as far as the training facility, and then they can also find you Jerry Pritchett Strongman. Is that what it is? Let me see.
Yeah, Jerry Pritchett Strongman, my athlete page.
Yep, that's right. And so they can find you there, and that's awesome. And so what else? What's you got? Now, let's say, for instance, worst case scenario, the world's strongest man does something different. What are you going to look at after that? You talked about doing a powerlifting meet in the June timeframe where you just sort of shut down on strongman for a little while. You'll have a little time to play with. What will happen next?
No, honestly, if an invite doesn't happen, definitely do 1 or 2 giant slides I might even show up in Orlando and spoil your show.
There you go. Come spoil it. That'll be perfect. Hey, the more
get an airline ticket to a Giants Live.
There you go. We'll pay your way. And more guys that come, the more spots to a Giants Live show. I hope people realize that. If right now there's 9 kids showed up, 9 kids signed up, money in hand, name on a dotted line, that's a guaranteed 1 plane ticket over there. If we get 20 kids, that'll be 2. We get 30 to 35 guys, that'll be 3 plane tickets over there. So the more guys that show up, the more opportunity there is to win.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a couple of my guys, Eric Patterson and John Lane. I'm trying to talk them into doing it too.
Yep, love to have them.
It's great opportunity, and that's the only opportunity that are going to get you in the direction of going to Worlds.
Yes.
As far as an American, that's just going to get you. You gotta get the Giants Live somehow.
And actually, also, if let's just say that only these 9 or 10 or 12 or 15 guys show up, and we only have that 1 spot to Giants Live, I'm gonna send number 2 and 3 to Nick and Callie's show whenever they have that. So they'll have another chance to win their way into a Giants Live show.
I think they're talking a fall or something.
That would be perfect. So there's plenty of opportunities out there. You just got to take advantage of them. You took advantage of it when the opportunity was there, and I love the picture that you had posted on Facebook, and I actually used it and reposted it. When the opportunity is there, you took it. You've got it. What would you say then? So, up and coming strongmen, they're fighting for their pro card. Maybe that's the dream of some guys. But unless you, then what? You still got to get it to a Giants Live show. I mean, so you cut out the middleman. What do you say to these up and comers that are really hungry and want to take it to the next level?
You got to figure out how bad you want it. You got to figure out how bad you want it. How bad do you want to do it? If it's something you really want to do and you want to get to Worlds, then you got to take whatever route that's going to get you there, and that's it. It's going to be doing show like yours, a show like Nick and Callie's, that's going to get you to a Giants Live. And then you got to go kick ass at those shows, so you get recognized and to qualify for Worlds.
Right.
I know there's a thing now, with me and ASC and the pro card deal and all that. ASC they got a great system that it's great for what it is.
Sure.
My thing with it, is it doesn't get you past that. No. It's a great system to do on the American Strongman circuit. That's fine, but it's not going to get you past that right now. Maybe down the road they create some kind of link to bridge you to Worlds. That'd be great, but right now they don't have that. So these young guys that just turn ASC pros or whatever, they got to be going doing these shows if that's what they want. I mean, I guess if they don't really want to move past that level of ASC, then I guess it doesn't matter. But there's been several I talked to. And I mentioned something, like doing your show or making calories and that, and they're afraid to go do anything else that they might be penalized elsewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Or something like, guys, you got to figure out how bad you want it. I mean, what do you want to do with your career?
And what are you what are you afraid of?
What are you afraid of? I mean, it's you. It's strongman's all on you. You go perform.
Pretty much.
I don't know. It's just strange. I talked to this one kid at the Europa out here, and I mentioned something that, hey, do that show. And I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't know why not.
Why not?
It's always been my dream, and for a long time, and this, Jerry, for a long time, it was to have America's Strongest Man. The top 3 guys would go directly to Worlds. Now, if that contest were to ever happen in the United States, America's Strongest Man, United States Strongest Man, RX Power Hour presents Nick and Callie's show, the Jerry Pritchett show, whatever. If that contest ever comes around where the top 3 guys legitimately, Colin says, this is the show, this is a Giants Live show, it goes, the top 3 guys go to World's Strongest Man, every guy in America will be there. I mean, you talk about creating hype. There's no way to create the hype and get 40 of the most badass motherfucking American guys on the, there at that show, unless you can provide them with that This is a direct route. No bullshit, no jumping through hoops. I mean, right now, doing the show in May, that's great. Then you got to go do another show, and then you can go to World's Strongest Man. In America, we deserve to have that contest. That goes.
Yeah, I mean, for the level of strongman we have right now.
I mean, just take 10 guys.
I mean, honestly, to me, as many giant sliders they have over through Europe and all that. I mean, hell, I think we should have 2 of those big shows here a year.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, for as many guys as we have, and good strongmen we have. Yeah.
I mean, and if you take America's Strongest Man this year, you must argue that even though Dimitar is good and Oberst is good, the best of the best weren't competing. And the reason that they weren't competing is because there's no telling where that show is going to go. It's not like it's not a well-run show. It's not like they're not trying. But now Dimitar in a contest that had traditionally the winner went to the Arnold doesn't even get a guaranteed spot to the Arnold anymore. And then in favor of some other guys that have no business at the Arnold. I'm sorry. Some of the, a couple of those competitors, I know these guys. A couple of those dudes are like, really? Over you, you're proven, and Dimitar won the show that should have got him in. So you just have to go, I don't get it, and I kind of like being not affiliated because I pretty much can say whatever I want. All that's going to happen is people are going to be pissed off at me, Jerry. And let's face it, they were already pissed off at me. So what difference does it make?
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter.
It does not matter. It does not matter. Well, Jerry Pritchett, dude, the busiest man in strongman. You got the training center. You're going to be getting back to some equipment after this is done. You're working with Anderson. You're showing up at the trade shows. You're an ambassador for Strongman. You're hosting. You and your training partners there are hosting a United States Strongman event, and you're getting ready for the first ever play-in. I guess that's what we're calling it, to the Arnold. Yeah. Best of luck. It's coming up this weekend. It's coming up. You're going to put it on the line. You and Dimitar, mano a mano, 3 events. Yep. Best of luck to you, brother.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your time. And again, if people want to get a hold of you, they can find you on Facebook.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Jerry Pritchett, Strongman, Pritchett Power. Any of that to find me.
And a shout out to your sponsors.
Ken Anderson Powerlifting, SPD. Ken helps me a ton. So, I owe a lot to Ken.
Awesome.
And,
very good. Well, thank you, Mr. Anderson, for supporting Strongman, for supporting Jerry Pritchett. Jerry, thanks again for coming on to the show.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
All right. This is the RX Power Hour. Best of luck to Jerry this weekend. We will be right back.
Mike Johnston and the RX Power Hour want to know what you think. Leave your thoughts and ideas at rxpowerhour@gmail.com.
Iron Mag Labs is the leading supplement company offering the most hardcore pro-anabolic supplements. Visit ironmaglabs.com and check out our top-selling products. Asta RX, Halo Extreme, Sinustane RX, E-Control RX, Decadrol Max, Ultramale RX. Iron Mag Labs makes supplements that actually work. No hype, no BS, just real results. There's a reason you keep hearing about Iron Mag Labs. Come see what you're missing. Visit Iron Mag Labs at ironmaglabs.com for the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements. Quest Bars from Quest Nutrition is Dave Palumbo's favorite protein bar. It's the only bar that's not simply a candy bar in disguise. There's no sugar or sugar alcohols, no soy, and zero trans fat. Quest Bars contain only the highest grade protein from whey and milk protein isolates. Quest Bars are also the lowest carb bar available, only 4 to 5 grams, and they all come from nuts. Quest Bars are also gluten-free. Quest Bars were specifically made for people who are serious about their physiques and who want the highest quality ingredients. Best of all, they taste great. Learn more about Quest Bars by visiting questproteinbar.com and try them out for yourself. Check out questproteinbar.com now.
Diet helps you look good in clothes. Deadlifts help you look good naked. This helpful tip has been brought to you by Evil Genius Sports Performance.
Won't let me be. Go to the valley, climb the hill, whatever it takes, dog. You know I will. Hey, now, darling, you hear me so, darling. You hear me so.
All right, welcome back. It's segment three of the RX Power Hour. This is your radio show. We answer your questions. Chavez, I was featured as the RX Power Hour member of the month on the not RX Power Hour, RX Muscle, on the RX Muscle forums. And
the employee of the month, were you?
I was an employee of the month, member of the month, because I'm a member of the forum. So they interviewed me, and I talked about just lifting and that kind of thing. And so there are some new listeners. Some young ladies actually said they just started listening in to the show. So we have a special throw out question to them. Young ladies wanting to build a little bit more muscle, and kind of take it to that ragged edge and tempt fate a little bit, but don't want you to have bad information anyway. But first up, Matt Stratton writes in and says he's contacting about an injury he's had with his shoulder, and thought that if we might have any insight, with what he's got going on. He says he's been having sharp pain in the front of his shoulder whenever he does any chest pressing movements. It started in the past June, so I'm thinking 2014, when he started working with a coach who had him maxing out on his bench press twice a week.
Wow! Holy hell!
Well, I don't want to go much further. When I say Matt, that might have been a problem.
Yep.
Initially,
He had. I think that's where you start your investigation. Holy shit!
Fire that coach. Initially, we had some art, and let's just. I'll read. He did some stuff, and he tried to get it better, so he could get back to bench pressing, and basically he goes on to say he had a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Went to a chiropractor, and the pain came back eventually. But he wants to get back into bench pressing, and what are some of the things that he could do? Just starting there at the beginning, whether you are a West Side guy or a Cube guy or, whatever the latest fucking flavor of the month is guy, if you're raw, if you're geared, a buddy of mine called me last night. He's in his 40s, and he's talking about, going heavy on every lift 3 weeks in a row. People, you don't have to go heavy all the time to be strong and to bring up your heaviest lift. Your heaviest lift, your PR lift, where does that happen, Broderick?
Well, if you're competent, it happens on the platform.
Exactly.
It happens in an event.
It happens at the event. It happens on
really
the
are
platform.
no trophies for gym. Really, no trophies for gym lifts.
No trophies for gym lifts. World records don't happen on Facebook unless somebody videotaped it. They happen at contests. So if you're looking for a PR, you need to have your heaviest bench work at a contest. Maxing out every week for 4 weeks isn't wise on the bench press. Maxing out for, 2 times a week is definitely not wise. So that's something.
Can I chime in, Mike?
Oh,
can I
please,
just throw something out there? And I'm not competent to address the injury. I'm not. That's well outside of my envelope. So I have nothing to say on the injury other than it's unfortunate you had one. But Mike just got done saying, folks, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, you shouldn't train heavy every week. Let's take 2 seconds and let's define heavy. What is heavy? Heavy is not a number. It's not 2, 3, 4, 500 pounds, 1,000 pounds, whatever. Heavy must be defined as the most weight you can do for less than, if you can't perform, say, 4 repetitions. If you are limited to 4 repetitions or less, in my book, that would be heavy.
Right.
So that's what heavy means. It doesn't mean 500 pounds, because I have met assholes that can do 500 pounds for 12 fucking reps.
Well,
so that really isn't heavy for them.
No, heavy.
So that's important.
Yeah, heavy's a very individual thing. It's your
Correct.
heavy. It's your
Correct.
max. That's
so I would define it as a threshold point of where you cannot perform, say, 5 repetitions, or 6 even.
Even I might go and say triples. 6 to me is
okay.
I would say triples. If you're doing sets of triples, you're going heavy. That's not moderate training. That's not volume training. To me, if you're doing sets of 6, that might get into a little bit more volume. Obviously, maybe moderate to heavy volume, but I break it down that way. Whereas if you're doing volume, I mean, you're fucking doing 10 sets of 10,
Absolutely, something that I love. And then also I want to tag on to that. First of all, you have to nomenclaturally, you need to define what is heavy. Once you've done that, you need to consider also that true progress, actual building of muscle and making yourself better for next week or next month or next year doesn't come from, quote, heavy training. It comes from what Mike just said. It comes from actual volume. You need to train enough to tax muscle fibers and improve neuromuscular efficiency, and that comes from practicing the fucking lift, folks. So training heavy repeatedly makes no sense on any front whatsoever. Plus, it culminates in injuries, not PRs.
Clearly, and truly, you get the strongest you're going to get when you're resting. That's when actually strength develops during rest. But the answer is, it sounds like shoulder impingement just based on what Matt described. So number one, I would ice, and I would ice after every workout, and this is what we're talking about is while you have an active, acute impingement pain going on in your shoulder. Warm up well before training and stretch afterward. Get some improved mobility in the shoulder. That could be using some of the voodoo bands, some of the jump stretch, wrapping bands, and doing some of the stuff that Donnie Thompson's doing, some of that mobility. It could be just stretching out afterward, making sure that you've got full range of motion, making sure that the joint is getting the fluid that it needs, making sure that the rotator cuff musculature is getting stretched properly, and that your upper back is in proper alignment. 3, work the smaller muscles of the rotator cuff and the posterior stabilizing musculature more. If you're spending 2 days a week bench pressing heavy maxes, when are you doing back? When are you doing your posterior chain work, your upper cross work? Don't max out every week, let alone twice every week. That's too much work for the shoulder. Wow. You can go heavy, but use boards, use a slingshot, do something to take the pressure off the joint. You could be a great raw lifter. Throw on a loose shirt every once in a while. Fucking save yourself. Bench to a board. I mean, I know you want to practice your technique and your mechanics or do volume, but you can't keep going to the well. It's great for youth, but, as you get one injury, they kind of culminate and you'll get they form right up on top of each other. You'll get another one and another one. Probably the most
chink in the armor.
Probably the most important thing is check your form. If your bench press form is off, it's just going to cause a shoulder problem. Seriously. I mean, if your form sucks, you could just be hurting yourself just by poor mechanics. So those are the 5 things I would say to do. Probably most importantly, check your form. Certainly, it should go without saying you don't need to be maxing out twice a week. Fire that coach. But anyway, thanks and good luck. And Matthew Stratton, thanks for writing in, taking your time. Hopefully this has helped you out. And if you have any further questions, obviously, you can send.
Good luck, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. You can send it in to rxpowerhour@gmail.com. Another listener question. This one is on the DL, Chavez. This one's
Fair enough.
This one's on the hush hush. One of the listeners has written in and asked for a beginning strength athlete. So we'll leave it at that. A strength athlete, for a beginning strength athlete, female. What would be?
Holy shit! Drugs and women's sports. Oh, wait a minute, that wasn't down low. I'm sorry. Holy shit! Let me settle down. All right. Okay.
Come on, that was a little That was premature. That was premature at best. All right. So where would you start? What would be a good number? That was the question.
I have a number. I have a formula. It's not a number, but where I would actually start is let's just, not that I do this for a living, but let's say somebody wanted my consultation, my counsel on the subject. Where I would begin is by really, truly expressing the risks and the benefits of said usage. I would really make this person aware of what this could cost them and what they could and should get for that cost. That would be where I begin, because no decision is worth anything if it's not an informed decision. So that's where I would begin, Mike. I can't say that with enough solidity and enough force.
Knowledge is power, baby.
Yes, absolutely. Where I would begin is really hammering home I don't want to hear later, I had no idea this would happen or this could happen, because you need to know. Okay, no drug, as Dr. Nick said 100 times in his interview on the RX Power Hour. No drug, nothing. Penicillin, aspirin, birth control. No drug is without consequences, and very few professionals spend enough time expressing those potential risks.
All right.
Now, having covered that, and this person understands and they're still interested, where I would begin, again, is with a little background information. I would say, for instance, even though we're speaking about a female, I would begin with most normal, healthy, average males manufacture around 10 milligrams of testosterone per day. And it's typically medically averaged at about 100 milligrams a week. So there's a nice firm benchmark. A normal, healthy, virile male makes about 100 milligrams a week. So that's going to be a perspective, okay, for everyone, male and female. Most women typically make, especially in puberty and just beyond, typically manufacture about 1 milligram per week. So we can average that to about, say, 10. So we've got a difference of women produce about 10 milligrams a week, men about 100. Okay, these are pretty accepted medical numbers. They're pretty well ingrained. So when you hear these dosages that are thrown out there, you can now put them in perspective. Holy shit, X person is taking or claiming to take 10, 20, 50, 100 times what's normally present in a female. So then I would say, typically, truly starting, if this person has not done anything and they're truly, dare I say the word, when dealing with a female, virgin to this concept.
Oh, fantastic.
Absolutely. I would say it is not unreasonable nor ineffective, unreasonably low, dare I say, or ineffective to begin at literally 1 milligram per kilogram of body weight weekly. So that means if you're talking about a 50 or 60 kilogram female, 130 pound person, which many women, in fact are, you're talking about 50 or 60 milligrams a week, or a nice round number and a practical number, because drugs come dosed such, is about 10 milligrams a week or a day. 10 milligrams a day gives you 70 milligrams a week. That's a really sensible and guaranteed effective for a first run for almost anyone, is about 1 milligram per kilogram weekly. And then that would escalate, of course, over time as they become more sensitized to it, whether they can tolerate it, that sort of thing. So I'm not saying doses remain that low forever, but truly, as a starting point, I can't imagine a person not getting effect and not getting a solid return for their risk at 1 milligram per kilogram. And that would maybe depend a little bit on the compound chosen and that sort of thing, but that's a discussion for another day. But say you've isolated, kind of what you think is the right compound. That's a pretty good start. It's about 1 milligram per kilogram weekly, divided evenly every day.
Well, there you go. So basically giving you the information you need to succeed, if that's your choice. Know the risk, know what you're doing. Obviously, 2 different questions, but if you think about it, Matt didn't really understand the risk he was taking because he had a coach telling him that this was a good thing to do and maxing out twice a week. Somebody wants to know, so they're going to the experts. And I dare say that the experts are here. This is the home of experts. You want to know about broken families and bad relationships and drunken tirades? Wait a minute, that's a completely different show. But we know about that stuff too.
Oh. Well, you know what, though? I cannot tell you what to pair with your roast beef sandwich. I don't know, that whatsoever.
I can't tell you what's Oh, yes, what to pair with your roast beef sandwich. All right. Well, questions answered. And if you have questions, please send them in. RXPowerHour
and to
at Gmail.
To whoever I do apologize, Mike, finish.
No, I was going to say, if you do have questions, please send them in to RXPowerHour at gmail.com. And if you have questions and you want them further answered and that kind of thing, Chavez?
Yes, that was what I was going to say. To that person that asked that question and any other out there, take the time and ask. Just write in and ask the question. Obviously, if the question gets to me, I might see your email address. It's in complete confidence. Information is far more important than anything else. Don't make decisions blindly, and don't listen to some knucklehead that's telling you to max every frickin' workout. And just really just think and weigh the risks and ask people you think can actually give you an unbiased answer, an answer that isn't associated to dollars, because that, I think, is very important.
That's right. We are sponsored by no one. We are beholden by no one. We answer to no one. We do what we want, pretty much, say what we want, and that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's going to stay. So,
absolutely.
That is all the time we have for tonight's edition. Your questions answered. Again, RXPowerHour at gmail.com. We will be back next week or the week after. I don't know. Depends on how frisky I feel. And if for some odd reason you just can't get enough MJ, you can visit me down at the Mega Balls contest. That's the United States Strongman contest this weekend down in Fishers, Indiana. But we're gonna go ahead and tackle the RX Power Hour question of the week next time around. It still is out there. When do you put on the gear? All you strongman gear whores, make sure you get on the Facebook or send your answer into the RX Power Hour at gmail.com. Broderick, you got anything you want to say to anybody?
I think I got it out of my system. I covered that IPF schmoz. The drug question kind of pacified my craziness. I feel good. I'm happy. I want to say, I don't want to thank anybody. I want to say that this phone call, this interview, this radio show is the absolute high point of my life, my week. I love this. The fact that you people are interested, that you respond and you react, and that I get to vent and go through my little therapy here. I just want to say thank you to all of you. This is the best. So there, we'll leave it at that.
There it is. Want to thank all the peeps down at the RX Muscle for hanging in there with us. Jerry Pritchett, what a wonderful guest we had. Check him out on Facebook. He's all over social media. He's got the new gym, and he's got the Jerry Pritchett Strongman Athlete Facebook page. Big event for him. We wish him the best of luck. For that matter, the best of luck to Dimitar Savatinov. Two great guys really going at it. They're put in a situation that they're put into, but they don't care. They're just getting it done, and we definitely love that. So best of luck to both of those gentlemen. Certainly Jerry, thank him again for coming on the show this week. Want to thank Krista T for hanging in there with me. Want to thank my peeps, Little Michael, Sis, and G. You guys are always with me. For B.Chavez, I am Mikey J. Fuck your enemies.